Welcome back, wrestling enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into some of the most talked about intergender wrestling moments that left a lasting impact on the industry. From title matches to unexpected Rumble entries, let's explore these groundbreaking events. Number 5. Evan Courageous vs. Medusa, WCW Cruiserweight title, Starrcade 1999.
Evan Courageous and Medusa, kayfabe boyfriend and girlfriend, going into this match at Starrcade. Now, Medusa, a long, storied history as a amazing women's wrestler. Evan Courageous was never going to be a world heavyweight champion. This guy was never really going to be a star. He had a great physique, a good look, but really no charisma. So him getting in an angle with Medusa and then having to put her over sure as hell didn't do the poor guy any favors. Incidentally, he also did the job for her on Nitro, albeit I would have done that well before I would have put her over clean at a pay-per-view. Poor Evan Courageous.
Number 4. The Powerbomb heard round the world, Sable vs. Mark Maro, May 11th, 1998. WWF Raw is War.
Mark Maro had a promising wrestling career. Coming off the heels of his WCW run as Johnny B. Bad, he was signed to WWF. He brought along his beautiful wife, Rena Maro, a.k.a. Sable, with him, and Vince McMahon took a shine to her. Of course he did, Vince. So, long story short, they have a conflict. They are breaking up, and Rena Maro versus Mark Maro on Raw saw her basically end the man's career with a kick to the nuts and then a powerbomb. This caused that snowball to roll downhill. As far as his career went, Stone Cold Steve Austin would not feud with. He thought there was nothing to gain from him feuding with a man whose wife kicked his ass. And then, famously, Rena Sable cheated on him with Brock Lesnar. Upon finding out, Mark Maro said he was going to kick the guy's ass, but then he found out it was Brock Lesnar, and he found forgiveness. Poor Mark Maro.
Number 3. Brian Cage vs. Tessa Blanchard, TNA Wrestling 2019.
Brian Cage. His willingness to put over women and men that are over 120 pounds smaller than him has, in fact, stunted his career more than steroids will probably stunt the back end of his life, unfortunately. I like Brian Cage, but seeing him, a 280 to 290 pound monster, willingly put over a 120-pound woman, folks, there's no room for suspension of disbelief, and their Impact match further drove that point home as he allowed her to get clean offense on him and as well as pick up a clean pinfall victory in one of, if not the dumbest matches I had ever seen. If it wasn't for the one that follows this, I would say this is probably the worst match I've ever seen.
Number 2. Tessa Blanchard vs. Sami Callahan, Total Nonstop Action World Title, Hard to Kill, January 12th, 2020.
You want to devalue your world heavyweight title to the point where there is no help of redemption, no matter who or how you book it moving forward after this happened? Well, enter Hard to Kill. TNA Wrestling, January 12th, 2012, Dallas, Texas. Sami Callahan and Tessa Blanchard coming off of her victory over Brian Cage. She has a 26-minute match or whatever with Sami Callahan where she, of course, goes over, wins the TNA World Championship, rendering the belt utterly useless, nothing more than a paperweight, because a guy who feigns being ultra hardcore just put over a woman a quarter of his size. And please trust me when I say the only guys that like matches like this in professional wrestling look like this real-life Soy Jack did when Tessa went over.
Honorable mention. Women who have entered the Men's Royal Rumble match.
Rest assured, I have the same energy for every female on this list, and especially these ladies who have chosen to participate in the Men's Royal Rumble match, of course, chosen kayfabe. But we have, going back to 1999, China, which was absolutely stupid. We have Beth Phoenix, who, again, that was stupid. Karma or Awesome Kong. And last but certainly not least, the Rogue Leviathan, Nia Jax. All of these are gimmicks. All of these were ridiculous. And that's about the amount of time I'm going to spend talking about them.
No, steady! Oh my God!
Number 1. Jeff Jarrett vs. China Intercontinental Championship Good Housekeeping match. WWF No Mercy October 17, 1999.
Well, we finally made it to number 1 on the list, and you guys knew this one was coming because it's the biggest wrestling company on the face of the planet and has been for decades at this point. And back in 1999, China was getting a lot of buzz as they were set to have her compete with the men. And a Royal Rumble appearance, Intercontinental title feud with Chris Jericho, and winning the belt from, of course, Jeff Jarrett, who was putting her over on his way out the door, headed back to WCW yet again. Good housekeeping match, Jarrett and Miss Kitty against China. China, of course, goes over for the win, becoming the first woman to sully the Men's Intercontinental Championship belt. There is our list of the worst moments in intergender wrestling dating back to 1999. I know there's more. This is as far back as I wanted to go for a video that was gonna really kind of piss me off as somebody who spent time in the ring, got put in a situation like this, and told the promoter to basically get bent. This ruins male workers' credibility, and this door in the intergender matches only swings one way, never benefits the male, unless you're Jeff Jarrett and financially you got over. But if you talk to most male wrestlers, guys like Stone Cold, they're going to tell you, I wouldn't do this. It's ridiculous. It's going to hurt my credibility. Why would I ruin my name like that when I've spent so much time cultivating and protecting my character and making him look like a legit badass, not somebody who's going to go out and look at the lights for a woman that they weigh over 120 to 150 pounds more than. I'm Etep from Wrestling with Horror. We'll see you next time. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.